Hello, folks. First of all, let me just address an issue. This T-shirt that you are seeing here, it's not the same that I used in my last videos. Okay. Let me just explain this. I'm one of those crazy people that has more than one equal piece of garment because I don't like to variate my clothing too much. No, I'm not one of those type of people that wears different clothing or whatever, and that is constantly changing the way they dress. Okay, let me just address this so we can be clear about it. Okay, thank thank God or thank the gods, I have enough money to buy clothing. But I simply like it. This one is a very simple T-shirt. There is nothing behind. No, this is just mimicking like if I was wearing something else beneath it. But I just like comfortable clothing, and I'm a kind of a gothic, so I like dark clothing. I often wear basically daily to work black t-shirts and sometimes maybe a jacket or something on top of it. No ties, please. No ties. No ties. No ties. I cannot bear them. You know, like I said in some comments in other videos from other people. Me and my brothers, when we wear suits and ties, we look like mobsters. you know, like if the Sopranos are coming into town. And me, I'm kind of I'm getting to be kind of a Tony Sopranos if I'm not careful. So so I better I better watch out. But just to get out this one of the way so that there are no doubts. Okay, and I'm recording this contents right now. It's Sunday, the 27th of April. Okay, so just to get it out there now. Today I want to talk about something that happened during the burial services of the late Pope Francis. First of all, just to say something, the Pope left in writing how he would want his burial to be, how the burial ceremonies would be, what type of casket he would have, a simple wood casket. That is what he wanted. He did not want it to be embalmed, none of that. And also, he wanted his body to be received in the basilica where he was buried to be received by transgender and people, by prisoners, people jailed, and all of that. Because that the Pope viewed himself as a pastor, as a priest. He did not see himself as an important religious figure. In his mind, he was the messenger of Christ. Messenger, not in that sense of, ooh, I'm the holy messenger, but in the sense of the one that speaks about the message of Christ and that applies it to reality. You know, that acts and not talks. I think this little intermezzo is important so that you can see the context. Now, what I'm really here talking about is what I really want to talk about here. Sorry, again, English is not my first language, right? But what I really want to talk here about is something that I find uh, both to put a smile in my face and secondly very important because I think this is like Mr. Zelensky said, this is a symbolical action that might have a very historical importance in the future. Now, Trump spoke with Zelensky before the Pope was laid to rest. Okay, he spoke with him, and after that, he posted something in his social media where, amongst the usual rubble, he said that he was now uncertain, or he wasn't sure that Putin wanted to end the war, and that the attacks that killed, I think, 12 or 14 people recently to Kiev, that killed civilians, and that the Putin continues to target civilian targets and continues to do this and do that. Now, I'm going to give you my personal idea, my personal analysis about this. Okay, first of all, Trump has been, I would not say pressured, I would not say, I would say influenced and made aware of the dire economical consequences US companies outside the US are enduring, more so than what is happening inside the US. Because what is happening inside of the US, he can usually rebuff with his rhetoric, with a couple of actions like promising support for the farmers, apparently, that are not going to help the family farms, but they will help the big farming companies that have a lot of influence. Okay, but this is also my opinion. But what I'm trying to say is that inside his borders, he can control people. I'm sorry, Americans, but you can be easily controlled. Yes, you can. We have seen it. You know, we have seen it with your protests that are a little more than a smack in the hand. Now, 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 Donald, don't do that. Don't do that. That is not good. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? I'm sorry, but this is what it is. You know, last time we had serious issues here. People went out in the street in masses. The damn country stopped. Okay, and even if there were people that got killed, you know, bridges were blocked, and we are mild. Okay, Portugal is considered a milder country in which usually our reaction is a non-cooperation reaction. You know, to simply not cooperate with the government, simply not cooperate with absolutely anyone, and leading things to become so unbearable that they have to either come to terms and commit and make agreements and whatever they can, or the country won't work. Okay, this is a very odd characteristic that some other European countries have. No, but we are usually not like the French that simply go out in the streets, burn stuff and do that. But you Americans, you aren't doing anything. What are you doing? I think you are boycotting Target or something. Okay, but are you, for example, this is an example. Are you, for example, blockading a major route inside a city? And I'm not talking about doing it violently. I'm just talking, for example, going over to the road at 4 in the morning with trucks and whatever, and simply blockade the entrance to the road, and leave like we do here, one lane empty so that emergency vehicles can pass. You are not doing that. Why? Well, first of all, because you can't. Because your cops beat up people without a search warrant, without anything. You know, we're on the ground. Put your hands beside your body. And you call yourself very democratic. Very, how democratic of you. Now, but, and if he can control what is happening inside, he cannot control the reactions to American companies outside the USA. And in Europe, especially, American companies have been taking, and I'm not just talking about Tesla. Tesla is our personal vendetta against Musk and against his attempts to influence European politics. Okay? Let me be clear about that one. So, he, I am certain that he had a couple of phone calls from companies like McDonald's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, KFC, in the food industry, for example. He had a couple of calls from the arms industry. He had a couple of calls from the social media companies. Like for example, I made a video about this, about the fines applied to Meta and to Apple, for example. He had a lot of he must have had a lot of calls about that. And you have to remember that early on, when we said went and kissed the ring of Mr. Trump, all of those companies, you know, uh, Facebook, Meta, X, every one of them, they went and they contributed with money, money, honey. So this is an investment for them, and they are losing money. And also, if you are an American, you have heard about many news in the USA about the fact that there have been uh, a lot of threats or certainties that in the next 2 weeks some food chains will be broke and that items will begin to not exist in the supermarket shelves. Not good. And I'm not saying that some of this is fear mongering. No, I am always very hesitant in extracting facts uh, from sources that I cannot completely 100% trust or that I cannot fact check. But this is the background of this decision. And also the loss of soft power. Because right now Trump understands that he speaks, and in Europe, people don't care. He can speak his heart out, and no one will care. His opinions are meaningless. I don't know. He's being classified as a Russian supporter. He's being classified as someone that is undermining NATO. He is losing the grip of influence over a large parts of the world. Europe's reaction to his actions, he is fearing it because right now I am certain he knows he cannot stop the wheels that are already turning in Europe. But he has to find a way to at least keep the US as a part of that wheels that are turning. And the wheels that are turning are simple as this. Europe is evolving to a state where will be a common European military force. And that military force, combined with the economical potential, will make not an equal to the United States, but a power that will be superior to the United States. Not in everything, Not in everything, not in the same way, not in the same unified way as you see in the US. But this is a sort of force that is rising. 450 million people and increasing, and not all from immigration, not all. A part, yes, but even that immigration is being controlled, and it will be controlled. I think in the next 20 years, this situation will be controlled, even with climate changes, even with all the challenges that we are going to endure. Because even if right now we are able to stop the dependence on fossil fuels and all of that, we will still have a century to endure with the consequences of climate change. And anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you. Because you see, here I go ranting again, but I think this is important. When you look at climate changes, you cannot look at it and think, oh, it will become more hot, or it will become more rainy, or it will become more cold, or whatever. No, it's the extreme events. It is now the 27th of April, and usually around here in the area of Portugal in which I am, in the south, in the coastal area of the Atlantic, usually we start to have springtime temperatures around, I would say, mid-March. Mid-March, late March. You know, the winter cold goes away. It, it usually, sometimes it can linger up to until February and early March, but after that, it begins to die down, and we have springtime temperatures. And after that, from late April and June and whatever, we have summer temperatures. It's really hot. You know, it depends in the area in which you are. It even depends if you are in higher ground or lower ground or lowlands or whatever. But it becomes really hot. And then in mid-September, temperatures, or before that even, in the from the what we call the 15th of August, temperatures become start to break, and then these type of temperate temperatures might last up until September, even October, and then after that, winter. It has been cold, raining, even snowing in the highlands up until now, up until I don't know, a week or two. Right now, during the day, these temperatures are already arriving, but during the night, drop, it still drops. But this is climate change, okay? And these extreme things, droughts, storms, flooding, snowstorms, this is what can destroy our civilization and destroy our means of production and of sustaining ourselves and our populations, and causing populations to move from one side to another because they have to survive. It's not just war, it's not just politics. An entire number of factors can create this. But as I was saying, it's important for you to see the context in which we are. And even if I don't think Mr. Trump is a very strategical person, he does not think too much into the future. He's not a dumb person. I always said this. He is not dumb. He might act the clown, but he is no effing clown. Does he have medical issues? I think so. I think so. Besides that, he's an old man. We all get those issues when we grow old. But up to a point to claim that Howie is being influenced by this one and that one, and it's not his blame and whatever. No, no, my friend. Those are excuses. Those are excuses. But What I think he is seeing here, he is seeing the rug being pulled under his feet. He is seeing that what he is doing is not working, so he has to think back. And if in the other video about the Kursk region, I talked about how Putin is fearful of the inevitable uh, influence, intervention of Europe, the rest of Europe, in the war, I think right now he will be even more fearful of it. Because as volatile as he is, Mr. Trump is the type of person that might consider to deploy military forces. Or, for example, to from today to tomorrow to fill up a cargo ship with weapons and send it to Ukraine. Not without getting something back, but doing it already as a sign of goodwill, and then trying to get advantages from it. That might include being a part of the weapon procurement in Europe, which he always wanted and that he was denied. And now he is trying it via the United Kingdom by buying up and investing in weapons in weapon companies in the UK. And the UK is desperate for investment. The UK, if you don't know this, I will be absolutely blunt with you. The UK's economy is in shambles. Okay, having a lot of money and having a lot of rich people does not give you an automatically good economy. If rich people continue to earn money, how does that help the common citizen that cannot even afford to eat some fish and chips at the price it is, or go to the pub? And people that are not that people that at least do not have some comfort, they will get mad. And this has happened all over many times over in history. Even the Romans had that old saying, "Panem et circenses," bread and circus. You have to keep people calm. And if you don't understand this, you don't understand human nature. Okay? But I think I agree with Mr. Zelensky. I agree that this is a symbolical action or moment that might have a very wide historical effect. I will keep my eyes open, keep my ears open too, so that I can understand what really is happening. And if I have any news about it, you guys will be the first to know. You guys and you girls, okay? Or you aliens, or what? You beautiful sentient people. Right. I'll see you later. Okay. Uh, have a nice evening. Have a nice day. Be happy. Be content, and try to try to make the world a better place. Okay. Just don't let anyone walk over you. Okay. That is not good either. And be calm.